divine knowledge, and the journey of self-discovery. God knows everything about you. How many times have you heard this phrase? For many it brings comfort, but it also raises a profound question. Do you really know who you are? What does it truly mean to be known by God, and how does this connect to the discovery of your own identity? This reflection takes us on an inner journey, and no one explores it better than Joe Dispenza. He suggests that, to draw closer to this divine wisdom, we must first understand our essence and the power we have to transform ourselves. According to Joe Dispenza, we all have a connection to something greater, a source of intelligence that permeates the entire universe. Some call this source God, others the quantum field, but the essence is the same, a field of energy, of consciousness, that is in everything and everyone, always observing, always aware of who we are and our potential. If this divine intelligence knows everything about us, wouldn't it be logical that by connecting with it, we could discover our true essence? However, the reality is that most of us live disconnected from this inner wisdom. We are trapped in thoughts, emotions, and automatic habits that shape our identity in a limited way. Often, we identify with our fears, failures, or past stories without realizing that these are just labels that separate us from our true divine nature. This is where Joe Dispenza's transformative teaching comes in. The true discovery of who we are begins when we decide to break free from these old identities and reconnect with the universal source. So how can we do this? How can we move from a limited version of ourselves to an expanded one aligned with our true essence? The answer, according to Dispenza, lies in our ability to remember who we are and who we can be by accessing a higher state of consciousness. This means changing the way we think, feel, and act in the world. When you begin to align your mind and emotions with this higher intelligence, you synchronize with the flow of life, and your true identity starts to reveal itself. The journey of self-discovery is not a simple task, but it is one of the most important we can undertake. And throughout this video, we will explore Joe Dispenza's teachings on how to discover who we truly are, a version of ourselves that goes beyond the limitations imposed by fear, doubt, and circumstances. The conditioning of identity. Who do you think you are? Joe Dispenza teaches us that most people live with a conditioned identity. From birth, we are shaped by our experiences, our family, culture, education, and even the traumatic events we face. Over time, we develop a series of beliefs about who we are, what we are capable of, and where we belong in the world. Many of these beliefs are limiting, based on fears and insecurities. When we identify with these beliefs, we start to live according to them. For example, if you believe that you are not good enough to achieve success, this belief will limit your actions. If you were taught to think that love is hard to find or maintain, you might attract relationships that confirm this idea. Thus, over time, these beliefs become self-fulfilling prophecies. You begin to believe that you are your past, your failures, or your limitations, and this ends up becoming your reality. However, Joe Dispenza teaches that this version of who we think we are is just a reflection of our mental conditioning. More importantly, this version is not fixed. It can be transformed. For Joe Dispenza, the key to self-transformation lies in understanding that the brain is malleable, and our beliefs and behaviors are the result of neural patterns that can be reprogrammed. When you start questioning your limiting beliefs and open yourself up to the possibility of a new version of yourself, you take the first step toward creating a new identity. But how can you do this? The answer lies in the practice of unlearning old mental and emotional patterns and replacing them with new ones, more aligned with who you want to become. Dispenza suggests that we start by consciously observing ourselves. He teaches us to become aware of the thoughts and emotions that reinforce our old identity. This process of observation is crucial because it allows us to clearly see what is holding us back. It may be thoughts of self-criticism, fear of failure, or even deeply rooted beliefs in scarcity. When we identify these patterns, we can start to change them, but it requires conscious effort. To transform a conditioned identity, Joe Dispenza suggests a daily practice of raising consciousness. This involves meditation, visualization, and creating new emotions that reflect the life you wish to live. As you practice these techniques, the brain begins to form new neural circuits, and you start to realize that the identity you once believed to be fixed is, in fact, flexible and malleable. You are not your past. You are a being with unlimited potential. connecting with the quantum field, discovering your true nature. One of Joe Dispenza's main lessons is that your true identity goes far beyond what you can see in the physical world. He teaches that we are all part of a vast quantum field, a matrix of energy that connects everything. In this field, there is no separation between you and the divine, between you and your dreams, or between you and anyone else. Everything is interconnected. When Dispenza speaks about the quantum field, he refers to the idea that there is a place where all possibilities exist. In this field, you are not constrained by the limitations of the physical body, time, or space. Your limitations are imposed only by your own thoughts and beliefs. When you begin to understand this, you realize that your identity goes far beyond what your eyes can see. Who you truly are is an extension of this infinite field of energy and possibilities. The limited version of yourself, the one based on traumas, negative beliefs, or past experiences, is merely a temporary construction. By accessing the quantum field, you can create a new version of yourself, one that is aligned with your deepest desires and the purpose you feel in your heart. But how can we connect with this limitless energy? Joe Dispenza teaches that meditation is one of the most powerful practices for accessing the quantum field. When we meditate, we quiet the conscious mind and connect with the deepest part of our being. In this state, we can create new possibilities for our lives and for who we wish to be. During meditation, Joe Dispenza suggests that we visualize ourselves living as our highest version. Imagine yourself achieving your dreams, living in abundance, enjoying perfect health, and having harmonious relationships. The key is to feel the emotions of already having these experiences while you meditate. When you do this, you are sending a new frequency to the quantum field, and according to Joe Dispenza, this frequency is what attracts new realities into your life. As you begin to meditate and align with the quantum field, something profound happens. You start to realize that your true nature is divine. You are not separate from God, the source, or the universe. You are an expression of this creative and infinite energy, and everything you desire is already available to you in the quantum field. All you need to do is align yourself with this energy. The power of inner transformation and who you choose to be. Now that we understand that our true identity goes beyond the limitations imposed by the past, and that we are an extension of the quantum field, the question arises, who do you choose to be? Joe Dispenza teaches us that true transformation happens when we take responsibility for our own creation. In other words, we can consciously choose the identity we wish to manifest in the world. For Joe Dispenza, the process of transformation begins with aligning thoughts, emotions, and actions with the new identity we want to create. He explains that simply thinking positively is not enough. It is necessary to embody the new version of yourself at the deepest level, both emotionally and physically. This means you must start acting, thinking, and feeling like the person you want to become, even before any external evidence of that transformation appears. This practice requires consistency. Every day you must remember who you truly are, not who your past says you are, but who you choose to be from this moment forward. This means that throughout the day, you should observe your thoughts and emotions and consciously align yourself with the new identity you are creating. Dispenza reminds us that this journey of inner transformation is the most powerful we can undertake. When you change internally, the external world begins to respond differently. You not only experience a new identity, but also attract new opportunities, relationships, and experiences that resonate with who you have become. In the end, the question Joe Dispenza leaves us with is simple yet profound. Who are you willing to be? When you align with your true nature and the quantum field, what once seemed impossible becomes possible. You are not limited by your current circumstances or your past. You have the power to choose who you want to be, and by doing so, you begin to live in harmony with the divine wisdom that already knows everything about you. God knows who you are, and now you can discover it too. Joe Dispenza invites us to deeply reflect on our true identity and the vastness of our unexplored potential. He proposes that there is a divine intelligence or quantum field that knows everything about us, not just our daily lives, but our true self, the one that transcends our experiences and conditioning. This divine intelligence knows our true essence, our limitless capabilities, and our deepest purposes. But the question Joe raises is, do we truly know who we are? Throughout this journey, we explore the disconnection that many of us live in, trapped by past limitations, believing that we are our failures, our traumas, or the circumstances surrounding us. This limited version of who we think we are is just a shadow of our true nature, a construction based on repetitive mental and emotional patterns that we reinforce over time. These patterns make us believe we are less than we truly are, blinding us to the vast potential that resides within us. Joe Dispenza, in his research and teachings, challenges these limiting beliefs. He shows us that just as God or the quantum field already knows our fullness, we too can access this truth if we are willing to free ourselves from what limits us. What does this mean in practice? It means we have the power to rewrite our identity and align ourselves with a higher version of ourselves, a version that is deeply connected to the universe and the divine purpose. This reconnection begins, according to Dispenza, with the understanding that the quantum field, or divine intelligence, is constantly observing who we are, offering us the opportunity to evolve at every moment. But to achieve this evolution, we must first be willing to remember who we truly are, not the limited and conditioned version we often believe ourselves to be, but the expanded version, full of potential, capable of manifesting great changes in our own life and the lives of others. Dispenza teaches that the key to this transformation lies in the process of self-observation and the development of a daily practice of mental and emotional reprogramming. He asserts that when we dedicate time to connect with the quantum field through meditation and emotional elevation, we are, in fact, creating a space for our true identity to be revealed. This process is not just about thinking positively or having an optimistic outlook on life. It involves something deeper, the complete transformation of the self, which requires commitment, practice, and discipline. Many people live their lives in a state of survival, operating from patterns of fear, stress, and limitation. They believe that the reality they experience daily is the only one possible, and that external circumstances define who they are. But Joe Dispenza reminds us that we are not victims of circumstances. In fact, we create our realities through the thoughts we cultivate, the emotions we feel, and the actions we take. And if we want to change our lives, we first need to change the way we think and feel about who we are. Dispenza invites us to adopt a daily meditation practice, where we can disconnect from the external world and connect with our inner world. During meditation, we enter slower brainwave states, such as alpha and theta, where the subconscious is more receptive to new information. It is in this state that we can begin to plant the seeds of a new identity, visualizing and feeling who we wish to be, not based on the past, but on the future we want to create. This process of remembering your future, as Dispenza describes, is a powerful technique for reprogramming the brain and the body. When we meditate and see ourselves as the highest version of ourselves, already achieving our goals, living in harmony, prosperity, and health, we are creating new neural connections that support this new identity. But it is not enough just to visualize. It is essential to feel the emotions associated with this new version of yourself. When you feel gratitude, joy, love, and fulfillment, even before these things physically manifest, you are aligning your energy with the reality you wish to create. God, or the quantum field, already knows this version of you, the one that goes beyond your limitations. And when you start living in alignment with these elevated emotions, you access a state of being that goes beyond physical conditions and linear time. The quantum field responds to your new energetic frequency, and gradually, what you experience internally begins to manifest externally. However, Dispenza emphasizes that this transformation does not happen overnight. It is a continuous process of self-discovery, a daily commitment to remember who you truly are and to align with that truth. As you meditate, elevate your emotions, and reprogram your mind, you begin to realize that you are no longer operating from old survival patterns. You start living in a state of creation, where the quantum field, this divine intelligence, responds directly to your new way of being. And along this journey, something remarkable begins to happen. You discover that your true identity is deeply connected with the divine. You realize that you are not separate from God, the source, or the universe. On the contrary, you are an expression of this creative energy. And when you live in alignment with this truth, you perceive that there are no real limitations, only those you have imposed on yourself over time. True freedom comes when you recognize that you are the creator of your own reality. When you consciously decide to align with the highest version of yourself, you become a force for transformation in the world. God already knows who you are, this full, abundant, powerful and loving version. Now it is up to you to choose to live this truth. Joe Dispenza teaches us that discovering who we truly are is the most important journey we can undertake. And this discovery is not just about achieving goals or material success, although these may be part of the process. The true discovery is about realizing that we are infinite beings with unlimited access to the field of possibilities. When you align with this truth, you begin to live in harmony with the divine purpose, and the life that once seemed full of limitations transforms into a journey of constant expansion and growth. In the end, the question is not, does God know who you are? Because the answer to that is clear. The real question is, are you willing to discover who you truly are and live in alignment with that truth? If the answer is yes, you are ready to embark on a journey that will forever change the way you see yourself and the world around you. The choice is yours and the potential is infinite.